Hey, good morning, everybody. It is your boy Bacon, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I do have another reaction Cooked Up Entertainment today, guys. This time we're gonna be reacting to something a little different. We're gonna be reacting to what the Earth was like in the age of giant insects. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen some stuff on the internet. I don't know how true it is. I've read some books. I don't know how true it is, but apparently back then, man, before us humans were around, the oxygen levels were 20 times higher than what they are now. So all these animals were getting a lot more oxygen, and they were gigantic. Like, just think about gigantic ass spiders and whatnot, just like stuff out of a horror movie, guys. So you already know what to do. If you enjoy the content on it, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below what else you guys want me to react to. And then please, please, please go follow my socials. Go follow my Twitter, my TikTok, and then my main YouTube channel, guys. I'm at 715 subs right now. I'm trying to hit at least around 800 subs before half of the month is over next month. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, please go show some love, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, I guess that's enough of me talking. We're just gonna hop right into it. Let's get baking.
Insects are the most numerous animals on the planet.
Imagine
Over
a
1
giant
million
ass,
species have been described, and there are likely millions
praying
more
mantis?
we've never encountered.
Hell nah.
Relative to humans, modern insects are small and vulnerable,
Yep.
hiding in dark corners and skittering out of sight. But there was a time on our planet when insects were large and
Hell
dangerous
nah.
creatures
Like, look
that
at that.
dominated their ecosystems, and in many ways, ruled the prehistoric world.
Yeah, of course.
The age of giant insects began during the Carboniferous period, roughly 359 million years ago. Long before the dawn of the dinosaurs, the Carboniferous was a time of tremendous change on our planet. Significant geological events were transforming the
Sorry, guys.
surface. Climate changes catalyzed the formation of lush terrestrial ecosystems, where critical innovations among animals and plants set the stage for millions of years of unprecedented diversity. During the lower Carboniferous, sometimes called the Mississippian, the world's climate was relatively tropical and uniform. It was significantly influenced by the movement of Earth's major landmasses, which were forming a supercontinent called Pangaea.
Yep,
Large
Pangaea.
pieces of Pangaea were steadily drifting together, closing waterways and creating a super ocean that covered most of the planet. As land masses collided, low areas were flooded.
How do you think life in the world would be today if we were all still connected? Like Pangaea was still a thing, and it was all just one big super continent. We were just all connected instead of how it is now. We're all separate. What if we was all just still connected to one big super continent? How do you think life would be today? Like, what do you comment down below, guys? How do you think it would be different? If you think it would be different, or do you think it would be still be the same? Whatever you guys think, comment down below because I'm interested to see what you guys think.
With warm, brackish waters, forming floodplains and swamplands. These plentiful environments were home to numerous plants and animals, like bryozoans, ancient fish, and many species of amphibians. About 340 million years ago, a period of significant continental uplift began to shape our planet's topography and ecology. Around this time, the supercontinent Gondwana collided with
Russia?
landmasses in the northern hemisphere, striking with enough force to create brand new mountain ranges like the Appalachians.
Yeah, makes sense.
This period of continental uplift also expanded the world's floodplains and swamps, where new species of plants were sprouting in troves. Large seed ferns and towering trees formed massive tropical forests, which engulfed many regions around the equator. The relatives of many modern plants, like conifers, first appeared in these vast prehistoric woods. Alongside diverse flora, the world's swamps and forests supported a complex system of semi-aquatic and terrestrial animals. Many ancient
Extraterrestrial
amphibians
animals?
lived near the water's edge, while early amniotes thrived in drier, terrestrial areas. These important creatures resembled present-day lizards with
It's a
long
dinosaur,
snouts and sprawling limbs.
It's a dino for
They
sure.
also laid hard-shelled eggs, which allowed them to safely reproduce in terrestrial ecosystems. The first amniotes would eventually diverge into synapsids and sauropsids, the relatives of
What?
mammals and reptiles, respectively. However, During the Carboniferous, the most dominant terrestrial predators were neither amniotes nor amphibians, but some of the largest insects ever discovered. About 323 million years ago, an unprecedented period of gigantism generated insects more than 10 times larger than their modern counterparts.
Bro, so that's what a regular insect on the right looks like today. But back when the oxygen was a lot more plentiful, on the left is what they used to look like. How, imagine that, bro. Imagine you're just trying to leave your crib. You walk out of your little straw hut and you see this big ass beetle just sitting there waiting to eat you, bro. Nah, man, I'm all set. I would just build an underground bunker and stay in there, dude. I'm not going outside. I'm not doing none of that. That must be no thanks.
Many species were unrivaled in their respective ecosystems. One of the best known apex predators was a giant winged insect called Meganeura that resembled modern day dragonflies. Meganeura had a wingspan of up to 70 centimeters, about the size of a pigeon today. For much of the Carboniferous period, winged insects like Meganeura were the only animals capable of flight, so the largest species ruled the skies. Around forests and swamps, Meganeura would swoop down with its beating wings and use its sharp mandibles to pierce the bodies of its prey. Meganeura was most likely an airborne terror during the Upper Carboniferous, but even larger animals were crawling along the forest floor.
That's so scary.
Arthropleura was a prehistoric myriapod that grew over 2 meters long. Similar to modern millipedes, Arthropleura had a segmented body covered with armored plates and many legs. Though it wasn't technically an insect, this giant animal remains one of the largest terrestrial arthropods to ever live.
Yo, imagine that. Imagine them shits was still big to this day. Instead of them crawling along your wall being like this big, bro, it's gonna be crawling along your floor being like fucking huge. Just straight crawling at you. And it's got armored plates and whatnot, bro. You're gonna have to buy a flamethrower and just flamethrower that shit, man.
When it was first discovered, paleontologists believed Arthropleura used sharp mandibles for cutting and stabbing prey. But more recent specimens suggest this giant creature, despite its terrifying appearance, was actually a herbivore. Arthropleura likely scuttled through woody environments, living alongside early amniotes and feeding on mostly plant matter. Arthropleura may have not been a dangerous carnivore, but it likely shared its ecosystem with another horrifying arthropod. Known as the lung scorpion, Pulmonoscorpius was a giant relative of modern-day scorpions that grew up to 70 centimeters long.
That's crazy.
Dwarfing even the largest species today. Pulmonoscorpius had big eyes, an armored body, and a sharp stinger on the end of its tail.
Look at it, it's got six-pack abs. Look at it, it's got, you know what I'm saying? He working out. You can tell the scorpion's working out. It's got the six-pack abs. Look at the muscles on its tail. Look at those muscles right there. Look at that. He's flexing.
In woodsy biomes and swamps, Pulmonoscorpius was likely a dangerous predator that preyed upon everything, from amphibians and amniotes to other arthropods. Paleontologists have discovered many fossils of large arthropods, but some debate remains over why these animals became giants in the first place. Similar levels of insect gigantism have not occurred since the Upper Carboniferous. So what was special about this period? Many evolutionary factors, like reproductive success or decreased competition, can influence an animal's body size. For example, a deficit of flying predators during the Carboniferous period may have allowed more insects to survive in the open, leading to a general increase in both size and diversity. A lack of competition may have contributed to the success of many insect populations, but paleontologists believe something else caused insects to grow to record-breaking sizes. During the late Carboniferous, oxygen was extremely plentiful in the atmosphere, far exceeding oxygen levels today. This period of hyperoxia, or oxygen abundance, may have influenced the growth of terrestrial arthropods. Giant insects like Meganeura likely had high metabolic rates and would have benefited from an oxygen-rich environment. Hyperoxia may be our best explanation for this unusual period of gigantism, but this theory remains controversial. Though large and terrifying, Giant insects represented only a tiny slice of insect diversity throughout the Carboniferous period. Tropical swamps and forests were crawling with all kinds of insects, from wingless hexapods to fast and mobile flyers.
Wingless hexapod.
The first Orthoptera, ancestor of grasshoppers, crickets, and locusts, may have hopped along the forest floor or flown between branches with parallel wings. Others, like mayflies and griffinflies, leverage their mobility to escape predators, locate resources, and travel between environments. Some flying insects evolved winglets in front of their primary wings to give them even more mobility in the air. Later, more advanced insects adapted folding wings, which they could tuck away as they flew from tree to tree. Though not giant monsters, many of these species, like early cockroaches, were massive compared to their modern counterparts. Of course, insects weren't the only creepy crawlies diversifying during the Carboniferous. In the same lush ecosystems, many other kinds of arthropods carved out unique niches and became vital to the development of our global ecosystem. For example, the first true spiders emerged during the Carboniferous period, though spider-like arachnids did appear much earlier. Like spiders today, the first spiders had 8 legs and book lungs and produced silk using spinnerets on their abdomens.
So,
paleontologists believe the first spiders were abundant in coal forests and may have built burrows on the forest floor. To hunt, these predators may have hidden behind trapdoors, waiting for unsuspecting prey to walk or fly too close. Not until the early Cretaceous period did spiders begin hanging from trees or building intricate webs like modern weavers. As far as we know, the first true spiders were relatively small, but in 1980, an Argentinian paleontologist discovered a gigantic arachnid with a leg span of approximately 50 centimeters. This specimen would have been the largest spider ever discovered, but it wasn't a spider at all. Instead, it belonged to a group of extinct arthropods called Eurypterids, also known as sea scorpions. Eurypterids were terrifying marine predators that grew up to 2.6 meters long, surpassing Arthropleura as the largest known arthropods. These creatures were most populous during the Silurian and Devonian periods. By the Upper Carboniferous, the largest species were already extinct. Still, many of these terrifying predators lived around river deltas, snatching fish and small arthropods in their powerful claws. Diversity among insects and other arthropods continued beyond the Carboniferous, though they faced a host of new evolutionary threats. Entering the Permian period, the early relatives of mammals and reptiles became larger and more competitive. Some, like gliding lizards, preyed on vulnerable insects crawling up trees or skittering across the forest floor. Though they faced greater competition, smaller insects flourished in many terrestrial habitats. Lice, thrips, true bugs, and even the first insects capable of metamorphosis carved out new ecological niches. Some emerging species would be wiped out by a mass extinction event at the end of the era, but insects would remain the most populous creatures on the planet. In many ways, the Carboniferous period was an age of incredible change and diversity on Earth. The gradual assembly of Pangaea reshaped the surface of our planet and spawned incredible ecosystems where new flora and fauna thrived for millions of years. On our changing planet, evolutionary lineages emerged that would bring into being the millions of species we know today. But the Carboniferous period may be best known as that rare moment in evolutionary history when giant terrestrial insects ruled the world.
Which is scary as hell. Yo, could you guys imagine that today if there was just giant insects still roaming the world, man? Just giant fucking dragonflies, giant scorpions, and giant cockroaches and all that shit. Hell no, bro. I'm all set. Every time you step outside, you'd have to stay strapped in case a giant scorpion is feeling a little feisty today and tries to eat you. Just fucking shoot that shit up. That's crazy, guys. That's the end of the video. If you are still here rocking me, you know I definitely do appreciate every single one of you. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Like I said, go follow my socials, my Twitter, my TikTok, and then go follow my main reaction channel, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm out. I will see you in the next video. Stay crispy.